without further ado, I would like to welcome our fine stars of Revenge of the Sith. We got 2 for 1 with this guy. How's it going, buddy? Welcome. Hey, how you doing, buddy? Hey, how you doing? How are you? Did you have a good time? Thank you so much. Thank you. Tux, how you feeling, buddy?
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, good.
Oh, thank you.
Yellow for you. Thank you, Mr. Matt. Welcome, everybody. There should be microphones in your seats next to you.
Hello.
This one doesn't have a call. Oh, works. Welcome, Master Jedi.
Welcome. So, all of you are part of one of the biggest moments, one of the most pivotal moments in the entire Star Wars saga, Revenge of the Sith. In my opinion, the climax, or one of the biggest climaxes to the saga. And all of you were there for all of that. So, starting on my right, I'm going to ask each of you some of your favorite moments and experiences from working on Star Wars. Yours in particular, doesn't have to be with any particular person, doesn't have to be with your character necessarily, just one of your favorite moments from working on Star Wars.
Are we talking Revenge of the Sith?
Just in general. We can talk Revenge of the Sith for a start, and then let's make it a 2 for if you want, and the second one can be just in general.
I think when we finished Revenge of the Sith it was like April of 2005. We had our final screening at Skywalker Ranch, and I remember the feeling that we all had together. Like we felt like because we had all worked on the prequels, and it was a nice culmination to the end, and just seeing the reaction to George Lucas and he seemed very happy about where it had landed, and that chapter is done, and now it's in the hands of the fans and the people to watch the movie, and we felt like we had got to a place that we were very happy with, and that was a very moving moment for me. Yeah.
That is great. For me, it was actually visiting the ranch and going out there and being introduced to everybody and seeing that whole kind of working situation that was happening out there way before anyone else had that kind of culture and psychology about work and everything. And I just had I was there for a week, and I had one of the most amazing, perfect weeks that I'd ever had in my life. So, and that would be the most enjoyable memory.
That's awesome. And what about you, Miss Rena?
Yeah, it probably has to be the ranch moment. But it was for episode 2, folks, because, I did Tonwi. And contrary to popular belief, it's not just the voice, it was me, the actor, the body, the movement, the whole 9 yards. And then, he did an extreme makeover of me by computer, and I ended up with a big head and a very long neck. I'd gone to LA, and George had gotten wind that I was in LA, and so he asked me, he said, "Are you SAG-AFTRA?" And I said, "No, not yet." And he said, "Great, we can bring you over to the ranch, to do ADR, because they can't work with SAG-AFTRA actually in America." So yeah, they flew me over to San Francisco. I got a rental car. And, it's kind of an incredible moment. It's a bit lost on you at the time, though. It's not till, I think that's like a lot of great moments in life. It's not till you get old and go, "Wow, I did that." Or that moment happened. So yeah, the ranch for me too.
Nice. Yeah, for me, nothing beats. Is that the right one? Yeah, for me, nothing beats being on set during the day, meeting a lot of my childhood heroes. Speaking to you and McGregor, that was the highlight. Speaking to Hayden, they were such nice guys. They gave me a lot of their time. And yeah, it felt like a dream come true, but I concur with what you've just said, that when you're in it, it doesn't feel real. I felt like an elaborate prank was being played on me. And it was only until I saw myself in the premiere where I thought, okay, this is real. There's no one going to turn up at the end behind the curtain and say, okay, it's all a show. You can go home now. But no, being on set is something I'll never forget. It's unreal. If you've ever taken tours of sets, you'll know what I'm talking about as well.
I mean, for someone in my position, I don't have too much to speak on set experience. But if we want to talk about thinking it's a prank, I think I have a better example of that. Not remembering being on set, first of all, and watching the movie for the first time, and my dad saying, "Hey, that's you." And I was like, "Nah, you're joking. Like, you're funny." Until we get to the end, and he's like, we get to the special thanks, and my name shows up. I'm like, "Oh, you're not joking." And it never really played that big of a role in my life up until, I don't know, age 16. So it was always something that I would tell friends and tell family, and they'd get a kick out of it. I'd always win the icebreakers at school, of course. But I think it really didn't hit me until there was this time where Mark Hamill made a tweet. And he's like, "This is Aiden Barton. This is baby Luke and Leia all grown up. This is my other counterpart to Luke." And all he did was Google Aiden Barton online. And of course, my images weren't online anywhere at that time. Like, no one knew who I was. So he pulled the first 5 photos of this random Aiden Barton that lives in Europe. He downloaded them, posted them, and I saw it. I'm like, "Wait, excuse me? That's not me." And my mom was like, "Oh, I'm not taking that." So she reached out to his agent and his team and was like, "You got to change it." So he made a new tweet that actually had my photos. And that's kind of the first time I'm like, whoa, like, people really have an interest in me playing this part. And that's kind of what kickstarted this whole career that ends me up right here. So it's been a cool journey so far.
So, I assume, or I think it's safe to assume, you guys are all Star Wars fans, right? In some level. So, starting with Aiden and coming back this way, Aiden, what is your Star Wars fan origin story? When did you first fall in love with the galaxy far, far away?
Well, it started with my movie, and of course, how could
I like how you said my movie.
And it still is my favorite to this day, not just because I'm in it, but because of kind of the impact that movie has on the entire series. And the intro shot to that is my favorite by far. It's kind of the most enthralling in terms of the visual effects and everything that movie has to offer. But since then, I've really enjoyed kind of watching every single movie. I'm not a big fan of the recent movies that have come out since Disney's taken over. Maybe a controversial opinion, may not be. But I really like what they've been doing with the TV shows recently, Andor and such. But I consider myself an above-level Star Wars fan. I don't have the knowledge as much as most people in this audience, but I am a big fan of Star Wars and love everything that's been coming out and has come out.
You're next, Ross.
Yeah, personally, when me and my friends were kids, just before filming began, we'd always be playing in the playground, pretending to be Anakin or Obi-Wan, or doing like Lord of the Rings role plays. And so seeing the originals on VHS with my parents' tapes and then watching the prequels before Revenge of the Sith came out, it was insane. Just being in it. And yeah, I kind of agree with you. I think Disney's pretty hit and miss, but at least there's some hits, right? At the end of the day, they've done some good stuff. At least we're getting Star Wars stuff regularly being posted. But yeah, it's insane, right? You're a fan of something and then you're in it. It's a dream come true.
Wow. I didn't know nothing about Star Wars, folks.
That's okay.
I know, I feel like, wow. I grew up on a dairy farm in the north of New Zealand. I mean, New Zealand's only a population of 5 million people. And we grew up with a whole lot of cows and a whole lot of sheep. And so Star Wars didn't factor. What I do remember from my teen years was John Travolta. Yes. Staying Alive. That was my... Yes. And I had Donny Osmond and Michael Jackson on my wall. Yeah. And so even when I got cast, I'd done a New Zealand film called Once Were Warriors, and George was a big fan of the movie. Thank you. And he said to Robin Gerlin, the casting director, he said, I want those 2 leads. So Temuera Morrison plays Django Fett. I originally was in negotiation for Django Fett. No, sorry, not for Django Fett. Sorry, it's the end of a long weekend. Captain Typho, Padme's security guy, with the eye patch. Yes, with the eye patch. And I was so excited about this character, and so was my mum. And then they said that George had looked at the balance of the script, and he said it's too woman heavy, and he was right. That they needed one character, and that character to be a male. So the 2 good things about that is that role went to Jay Lagaya. Full 3 decades later, full circle, is Jay Lagaya's daughter plays Moana in the live action, which of Moana coming out next year. And George still wanted me in the movie. And he said, there's an alien, would you play an alien? I was like, yeah, whatever, George, you know. And so I go home, my mum's all excited about me in this, and I said, no, Mum, you're not even going to see me anymore. So at that point, episode 2, I had the best time because I was so naive and so innocent of this enormous world I had become a part of. And it really did not hit me until I came to my first convention here in Dallas, Texas. And that I suddenly went, oh my God, this is a religion. And I am really grateful to all of you fans because I've learned about the whole history of Star Wars and was then flattered by George and Rick, his producer, to be brought back for Revenge of the Sith as a new senator, because when I read that script, I thought, we're going to be the first to get cut. Because we weren't intrinsic to the plot. And the plot, when you streamline a story, the streamline is this was about Anakin going to the dark side. And so Padme's new senators, I knew we'd be amongst the first footage to get cut. And we did do some good scenes with Palpatine. But yes, unfortunately, we only now exist on the landing pad. But hey, we're still in Star Wars, right? Yeah.
For me, obviously, I'm of an age that was alive and a small boy when the first film came out. It was summer holidays. We were away up the coast from Sydney, and we all got bundled into a car to go to the cinema to see this film. It's called Star Wars, and we really didn't know much about it then, but the opening scene, the ship coming over the top of the other ship, and then the invasion of the smallest ship, and Darth Vader, and all of that stuff, and then it just went on and on and on with so many great scenes and so many great situations, and Harrison Ford and all those guys. It was just incredible, and I was, from that first opening scene, I was hooked on Star Wars and always have been.
I also was of age to see the originals. I was 5 when it came out, and we saw it in a drive-in movie theater, which was amazing. And I remember even, we used to have these little tinny speakers that you'd bring through the car window that would hang in there, and I heard the whole movie through that. But it had this, as we all have seen, this lived-in quality of this universe that seemed like it's a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and it had this. You felt the universe that was created felt very real, and like everything was, not perfect. And I wanted to know how it was made. I wanted to know where this place was, and I was a little kid, and my parents had bought me the Marvel comic. It was like the big oversized one. And I remember flipping around in there and reading the story, and actually there's a pretty terrifying image in there of when Ben Kenobi gets spoiler when Ben Kenobi gets
Ponda Baba.
yeah, at the end. In the comic book, they really did it like the blade hits him and he catches on fire, and you see like his eyes inside there and everything. And as a 5-year-old, I was like, whoa, I don't remember that in the movie. But anyway, at the very end of the book is a picture, and it has Alec Guinness sitting on location in Tunisia, and he's in his robes and stuff. And then next to him is a man sitting there with a bushy beard and a plaid shirt and a brown coat and very thick hair. And I was like, Mom, like, who's that? He's not in the movie. Who is that person? They were like, that's George Lucas. He directed the movie. That's the director. And I was like, oh, it's not just a bunch of actors that make the movie and that's it? Like, no, and that's where it's sort of, I learned that there was a craft that people make these movies. And there was a great documentary that they made about the making of Star Wars, a very early documentary, and I remember just obsessively, we taped it off the television. I had it on VHS, we'd watch it all the time, and then fortuitously, the company that made it happened to be, 50 miles away from where I lived. So that was very, very fortuitous in many ways for the future. But that was my inception into Star Wars, and it just had that lived-in quality, and you wanted to know what it was and be there, and yeah.
So each of you have had very different roles in Star Wars. Some of you in more makeup than others, some of you having to wear prosthetics and mocap type stuff, some of you wearing Jedi robes, some of you didn't have to do very much. So, what were some of the unique challenges to one of your roles in a galaxy far, far away, or your role in a galaxy far, far away? And as a current actor in the working force, what are some of the challenges you face now for you, Aiden? Starting with Matt.
You want me to comment on Aiden?
Yes, and then I want you to comment on some of your own. But I figured I needed to specify for Aiden since
Right.
he's not really going to remember the challenges he had back then, other than, well, I was trying not to cry, but then I was like, whang.
Challenges of the role that we had in the movie, is that what you're asking?
Yes.
The TLDR. Okay. Yeah, there was a couple things. I mean, I was working in the post-production of the film, and so we were doing all the sound. So there was a lot of challenges there to fill up the world of Star Wars, which is such a lush visual landscape that's created by ILM and Doug Chang and all the art directors of the movie, and to fill that space with sound is a big, big challenge. And obviously we have John Williams' music in there, which is incredibly thematic and amazing, and you couldn't have Star Wars without it. So we work inside of that, and there's a lot of characters that are digital and a lot of characters that we have to re-record, and I remember recording you at the ranch. Yeah. That was me. Yeah.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know what? Because I was going to say this moment, it was just me and George and one guy.
It's me.
And
And it was in his private screening room.
That's in his
Yeah.
private screening
Yeah.
room. And I had the courage, because it never occurred to me, because, when you're an artist, you collaborate as a creator. And I kept stumbling on this one word, and it wasn't flowing. And I just said, oh, George, can I just say this word? And he kind of went, and then he said, let me hear it. And then I said it. And he said, yeah. Because it didn't occur to me. But I never forgot this, Matthew. I didn't realize it was you. When we walked out and we walked down the hallway, this sound guy looked at me and said, that was incredible.
Oh, wow. Well, yeah.
did.
That was, I guess that was
you.
me. Yeah.
Because you said, that was amazing. And I went,
Yeah.
what? And you said, that session. And I went, oh, okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's that. We were just
Oh
having a
my
conversation
God.
about coincidences, and there it is, another one. That's great.
Oh,
Yeah, because I had
shoot.
Tamura
Sorry.
came out too to the I set up a little recording booth. I wanted it to be easy for George, and back then it required an incredible amount of equipment to do what we were doing there. But I had made it so we could do it. He could just walk downstairs from his editing room and do it in the screening room, and everyone would be very relaxed. And that was sort of my goal there. And luckily, it sounds like it worked for you, which is nice.
Oh, it did, but I did
Yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah.
That was
Good.
magical,
That's
but you were not the guy walking with the silver ball on set.
No, I'm not the
Good.
silver
It's just
silver
you.
ball guy. That's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
No. No. Yeah, they were. Yeah, no. Anyway, so so it was just filling up that soundscape, and I had a mentor, Ben Burt, who obviously had done the original films, and so we just wanted to make that world sound great, and we know we had a lot of there was going to be a big lightsaber battle there, and yeah, and then in terms of my own participation as an actor on the show, it was something that we wanted to create a character that was going to be completely digital, and I also had to fill this really menacing looking character that had been created, and so we did a lot of back and forth, and sort of and I made an audition that I thought was going to work hit a lot of the marks that he wanted, and I submitted it anonymously amongst another group of actors, and I got picked by George. That was me sort of Jedi mind tricking George Lucas. But in the same sense that you were saying, where it was a collaborative environment, like, yeah, it was that moment was also, I just was a kid working on the show, and I had done some acting, and I felt confident in what I had submitted, but at the same time, it was just George Lucas that had to decide this. And he was, yeah, I like that, that's great. And then the fact that it was me, I thought I was going to get in trouble because I never expected the audition to go that far. And when he did pick it, and he said yes, and I had to sort of sheepishly tell the producer, Rick, that it was me, and then George was like, great. And then he just said, come over tomorrow, and I'll come over tomorrow, and we'll record the whole thing. And then that same surreal feeling of, is this actually happening? And then when we got to the point of the film, when we were finishing towards the end, and I knew we'd already done some mastering of the movie, we'd already sent it out to some labs, and I'm like, okay, now if they want to replace me, it's gonna cost them money. So I think I'm okay now that I'm gonna be in the movie. But I still don't feel it like it's some big deal. It was just George and a bunch of...
That's exactly right.
Yeah,
and
it's just
I
a bunch of us
think
making
that's what a lot
movies.
of people don't realise.
Yeah.
It's so simple.
Yeah.
It's incredibly simple, and the greatest works of art tend to be, first and foremost, incredibly simple.
And I loved that simplicity, and I love
Yeah.
that George was just a human. He's a billionaire,
Absolutely.
but he's like super down to earth.
Yeah.
And there was one person that we talked to and collaborate with as far as the
Yeah.
vision of the movie, and that was a very, very special time. I'm sure we've all made projects since then, and we can relate to like how unique that was on the scale in which it was, with also just how personal it was. Yeah.
He treated everyone like family.
Yeah.
And that's how him and Rick worked. And if they liked you, they brought you back. And he would go to, I don't think I'm oversharing by saying, when we shot on the Fox lot in Sydney, Australia, every day he'd take his kids across the road to have fish and chips at the pub. That's how ordinary he likes to keep it. Yeah.
Yeah, now it's your turn.
I've forgotten the question.
What were some of the unique challenges that you had? Yeah.
I know, now I remember. Wow, unique challenges. I don't know, really. The experience was so great, everything that was happening to you, from, sitting in a chair, getting all this prosthetic on you, and, after like a couple of days, you'd sort of semi-fall asleep in the chair anyway, and so you'd sit in the chair, you'd look at yourself in the mirror, and you'd be you, and then you would wake up a few hours later, and you'd be not you anymore. That was a really strange transformation, but it was an easy one to a great extent. It wasn't really difficult at all. And then I guess the robes were a thing. There were layers of robes, and then for the action stuff, you had to move around and do things. And the last layer was kind of this kind of robe that went over the top of everything, and that you'd get caught up in that every once in a while, or you'd step on it, or you'd nearly fall over. So that was kind of, I guess, a challenge to a certain extent. But it was never really a challenge as much as it's like you'd imagine when you finish school and you play in the afternoon after school, and you're playing with your friends and you're make-believing all these things, but it was just the most amazing make-believe situation that you could imagine. And so, yeah, it was never really a challenge. It was always just extraordinary.
That's awesome.
I think for me, in terms of costume, I was just in my sweats. So just, my sweatsuit basically. And so when I was doing the scene with Ewan, actors will always look at each other's eyes. And so George said, Ewan, you got to remember that by the time we've done an extreme makeover on Rena, she's going to be like way up here. And I don't know who, I think it was an Australian crew guy. I've just discovered.
It wasn't me.
Yeah. Okay. It came up with this idea and grabbed a blue construction helmet, and there was a big tall cardboard cutout of Ton Wee on set, and they cut her off at the neck, and then they taped that head of Ton Wee, and there are photos of me walking around with this blue helmet and this cardboard cutout on my head, but it gave Ewan a specific right high line. The problem is I kept forgetting it was on my head, and so I kept walking into the lighting stuff. So basically, we shot our scenes like that. Then there was this guy, and I'm so sorry I can't remember his name, who would then walk through the scene with the silver ball.
His name was Jason. That's how I remember his name.
Thank you, Jason.
Jason, not Matt. We can't stress
Not
that
Matt.
enough.
Exactly, yeah.
Wow. And so that was, yeah.
We still do that, by the way. Like
They
even
do?
on, I was just on Ahsoka season 2 over in Pinewood, and they stop when they do the ball. Because they're getting the reflection and they get the lights, they get everything in there. So it's kind of like a moment where they stop and do that. Still to this day we do that.
What's the difference between that and motion? Because I've never done motion capture, so everyone thinks I do motion capture. I've never done motion capture.
Well, it's more so I think they're trying to get the pattern of the lighting it's in there, and then how things fall on that light. It's a known reaction that they can measure. And so when they use that green, or when they use the sphere on there, they have that shot in it. So when they're all trying to evenly color balance and light everything, that's what that's for. It's
Yeah.
not necessarily for the motion of it.
I see.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have a wardrobe challenge?
How about you, Ross? What were some of your challenges?
Nappy.
Aside from just general nerves of thinking, okay, we were only given one line as kids 2 weeks before filming. It was Master Skywalker, there are too many of them, what are we going to do? That got emailed to all of our parents, and it was just repeating that over and over again. And when I put my hand up first, when the casting director asked all of us kids, who knows the line? He said, you're it. I was thinking, okay, no pressure, okay. Gotta get it right, gotta make sure it's delivered correctly right in my 6-year-old brain. What was the biggest challenge was actually maintaining eye contact with Hayden, because as part of the scene, after I say my line and he unsheaths his lightsaber, I'd end up breaking eye contact and just looking down at the saber like that. So I'd say my line, then he'd go like that, and I'd be... And from George Lucas's perspective, it must have looked off. So he was like, Russ, cut, we need to keep eye contact with Hayden, please. And I was like, okay. And on the 4th cut, I managed to do it, and that was a wrap. Those were the only 2 challenges I recollect from filming on the day. Aside from that, it went pretty smooth, but hey, I guess 4 takes is all right. I mean, industry standard, I don't know, that's the last thing I've been in, so yeah. Any pointers, guys?
It was good. 4 takes. That's
Yeah,
good.
okay.
Yeah.
Good. Feel
Yeah.
glad.
You killed it.
Appreciate it.
And Aiden, what are some challenges you've had as an actor recently? Since
We'll
you
start
might
on
not
set.
remember your challenges from Star Wars.
I think the other actors here on stage can only dream of reaching the level of method acting that I was able to achieve on that day. Having to play a boy and a girl are the 2 biggest characters. That's a lot of pressure, and at the same time, trying not to cry and pee yourself. I mean,
You wear it well.
One thing I do remember is I have a video from set that day of recording where George is getting mad at me for crying, and he's talking to my mom, and he's like, "How do we get him to stop crying?" She's like holding me, she's rocking me. He has his Dr. Pepper, of course, just looking down at me. And I think it just took walking around set 4 or 5 times to get me quiet enough to just get that shot perfect.
So was that 4 takes or 5 takes?
Oh, I thought I think he has me beat on that front. Because there were too many scenes where I'd either close my eyes, open them. I don't know. It was a difficult job. But in recent times, it really didn't affect my life, like I said earlier, in a major way. It's really only been positives, which is good to hear. But it's just been an incredible experience to be a part of this universe that's so big and has so many amazing people as fans. So I feel I'm very lucky to be in the position that I'm in.
That's awesome. So, back to another fan question. Fans being you guys. Starting with you, Aiden. If you could pick your lightsaber color, this is from my friends over at Determined Focus, what would it be?
I've always been a big fan of the color red, so I'd have to say red. As biased as that is and unfortunate, it's going to be red.
Fair enough.
The Sith from another timeline. Yeah, how things could have gone. Yeah. I'd say, for me, it would be green, because they originally gave me a lit green lightsaber when we were filming, and then I think they changed their mind halfway through. They improvised and just gave me a lightsaber handle, so I'm sticking with the original vision of the director here. I'll choose green for that.
I'm going with pink, P-I-N-K, pink, the colour of love.
I think I had the most fun with the green lightsaber in Attack of the Clones, so I'd go with green.
Yeah. I don't have, in my collection. I don't have white. Is there a white saber, maybe? Ahsoka's got the two, right? Yeah, I don't want to have to take, maybe she just loaned me one. I don't want to have to, kill her to get those, because we need her around. But I like white. Yeah.
And if you could pilot any Star Wars craft from a galaxy far, far away, what would it be? You did pilot the Bellabub quite a bit.
Oh, wow. I liked that thing in Ahsoka, the one that had all the hyperspace engines strapped to it. What did they call that?
The Eye of Sion.
Which one?
The Eye of Sion?
Yes, the Eye of Sion. I play one of the voices of the droids in there, but I like the design of that. I thought it was really cool, and then putting all those different light. It looks like it goes very fast, so I would like to pilot that.
Oh yeah, it goes really, really fast.
I guess I don't have enough knowledge to actually know the names of the spacecraft. But
I didn't know either.
There's this one it's like it's all silver, and it's kind of like a
the Queen ship.
Deco kind of.
Yeah,
looking,
the one at the beginning. Yeah.
With the pointy end. Amazing.
Yeah, that's the Queen ship. That's a good one. I like
there
that.
There you
go. Yeah.
It's called the J-type Nubian cruiser. It's from Naboo. And you, Miss Rena?
Well, I want to be in the future starfighter, so that's going to be my ship.
Nice.
Very nice. And you, Ross?
I'd say I'm pretty basic in my opinion when it comes to this, but I just like the Lucas Slave one. It looks cool.
Yeah.
There's plenty of space. You can rock out in it. Lounge back. Multi-purpose.
Party at your house.
Yeah. But it's cozy enough. It's not too big.
I'd have to go with the TIE Fighter. The sounds are just so satisfying. Some credit due over there. But I think I'd just feel so cool flying one of those around.
It just the regular TIE LN, or that's a cool one.
Oh, just the regular one? Fine.
Which one would you pick?
No,
man?
I'm joking. I do like Kylo's thing, but that's not is that a TIE?
The silencer or the whisper?
Oh boy. What's the one that's parked at Galaxy's Edge?
That's the Echelon shuttle. Or the Xi shuttle, not Echelon. Xi shuttle.
What's the one that he blows out the window and Leia flies out? No, he doesn't do that.
That's,
he turns his thing
He turns his off and
But
his
the one he's
wingmen do
flying,
it.
then.
It's the silencer.
Okay, that's the one. Yeah, I like that one.
That's a good one.
See, that's why we have to come to conventions, get all the answers from you guys. Seriously, incredible knowledge.
Well, we have one more treat.
Oh.
We have some inductions to make, courtesy of our friends in the local Rebel Legion,
Wow, look at this costume.
if you would please.
Oh, wow. Watch yourself on the stairs here.
I think y'all might be able to
There are
guess.
stairs here. Look at the detail on this, not this one, but that one. Okay, be careful. Everyone be careful.
I'm gonna pass this to you.
Don't trip over your robes. You know about that.
Hi. So I am Ashley. I am representing Dagobah Base from Rebel Legion, and it is my honor to induct you, Aiden, into the Rebel Legion as an honorary member. Thank you so much for your role as Luke and Leia.
Giving you the mic? Oh, thank you. Incredible.
And we have some goodies for you as well.
Oh, thank you so much.
Speech.
It is in my honor to be baby Luke and Leia and show my beautiful face to you guys, and I'm so happy that I wasn't crying during that scene. And I appreciate this so much. This is incredible. This is going straight on my wall when I get home. This is
Yes.
awesome.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Thank you.
stars of Revenge of the Sith, thank you so very much for coming to Rebel Scum Con Year 2. We hope you guys had a fantastic weekend with us. I know I enjoyed it with every single one of you. Please, one more round of applause for my special guest with me today.
What about our fantastic moderator? Yes.
And the biggest round of applause for you guys out here for coming and supporting.
What a great con. What a
Yes.
great
Yeah.
weekend.